As you can tell, this was going to be a little bit different. I'm testing a program to mirror my iPhone that I got right here on my computer. So this is kind of like a two birds with one stone type scenario. When I was in the mountains, I had wanted to do a sunrise Bible study, but that never happened. And this is just something that God gave me one morning as as I was laying in bed, trying to get going, and I thought it was something cool, especially since the holiday season is coming up, and people tend to have suicidal tendencies or thoughts during this time of year, so I figured why not. If you want to read along, I'm using two different sources here. So let's see, go here and here, and this is what we're going to be looking at. Give you a second to jot that down, or at least take a picture of a screenshot of whatever you want to do. Anyway, let's get back to this other app so you can see a little bit better. Okay. And most people know the story of Lazarus, but I figured I'd go through it anyway. It says, now a certain man named Lazarus of Bethany, the town of Mary and her sister Martha. It was that Mary which anointed the Lord with ointment and wiped his feet with her hair, whose brother Lazarus was sick. Therefore his sister sent unto him, saying, Lord, behold, he whom thou lovest is sick. When Jesus heard that, he said, the sickness is not unto death, but for the glory of God, that the Son of God might be glorified thereby. Now Jesus loved Martha and her sister and Lazarus. But he had heard therefore that he was sick. He abode 2 days still in the same place where he was. Then after that saith he to his disciples, let us go into Judea again. His disciples say unto him, Master, the Jews of late sought to stone thee, and goest thou thither again? Jesus answered, Are there not 12 hours in a day? If any man walk in the day, he stumbleth not, because he seeth the light of this world. But if a man walk in the night, he stumbleth, because there is no light in him. These things said he, and after that he saith unto them, Our friend Lazarus sleepeth, but I go that I may awake him out of sleep. Then said his disciples, Lord, if he sleep, shall also. Then he said, disciples, Lord, if he sleep, he shall do well. Howbeit Jesus spoke of his death, but they thought that he had spoken of taking a rest in sleep. Then Jesus said unto them plainly, Lazarus is dead, and I am glad for your sakes that I am not there, to the intent ye may believe. Nevertheless, let us go unto him. Then said Thomas, which is called Didymus, which I believe is the word they use for the word twin, unto his fellow disciples, let us also go, that we may die with him. Then, when Jesus came, he found that they had lain in the grave, found that he had laid in the grave 4 days already. Now Bethany was nigh unto Jerusalem, about 15 furlongs off. And from the little bit of research I did on this part, that's about 2 miles, I believe, somewhere around there. And many of the Jews came to Martha and Mary to comfort them concerning their brother. Then Martha, as soon as she heard that Jesus was coming, went to meet them, but Mary sat still in the house. Then said Martha unto Jesus, Lord, if thou hadst been here, my brother had not died. But I know that even now, whatsoever thou wilt ask of God, God will give it thee. And Jesus saith unto her, Thy brother shall rise again. Know that he, Martha said unto him, I know that he shall rise again in the resurrection at the last day. Jesus said unto her, I am the resurrection and the life. He that believeth in me, though he were dead, yet shall he live. And whosoever liveth and believeth in me shall never die. Believest thou this? She saith unto him, Yea, Lord, I believe that thou art the Christ, the Son of God, which should come into the world. And then she said, and when she had so said, she went her way, and called Mary her sister secretly, saying, The Master is come, and calleth for thee. And as soon as she heard that, she arose quickly and came unto him. Now Jesus was not yet come into the town, but was in that place where Martha met him. The Jews then which were with her in the house, and comforted her, when they saw Mary, that she rose up hastily, and went out, followed her, saying, She goeth unto the grave to weep there. Then when Mary was come where Jesus was, and saw him, she fell down at his feet, saying unto him, Lord, if thou hadst been there, my brother had not died. When Jesus therefore saw her weeping, and the Jews also weeping, which came with her, he groaned in the spirit, and was troubled, and said, Where have ye laid him? They said unto him, Lord, come and see. Jesus wept. Then said the Jews, Behold how he loved him. And some of them said, Could not this man, which opened the eyes of the blind, have caused that even this man should not have died? Jesus therefore again, groaning in himself, cometh to the grave. It was a cave, and a stone lay upon it. Jesus said, Take ye away the stone. Martha, the sister of him that was dead, saith unto him, Lord, by this time he stinketh, for he had been dead 4 days. Jesus saith unto her, Said I not unto thee that if thou wouldest believe, thou shouldest see the glory of God? And then they took away the stone from the place where the dead was laid. And Jesus lifted up his eyes, and said, Father, I thank thee that thou hast heard me. And I knew that thou hearest me always, but because of the people which stand by I said it, that they may believe that thou hast sent me. And when he thus had spoken, he cried with a loud voice, Lazarus, come forth. And he that was dead came forth, bound hand and foot with grave clothes, and his face was bound with a napkin. And Jesus saith unto him, Loose him, and let him go. Now, see, during this holiday season, like I mentioned before, a lot of people have suicidal thoughts or tendencies. And this is just one of many stories that we're going to look at where Jesus come just in the nick of time. When people thought all hope was lost, that there was nothing else to live for, Jesus was on the scene. And I just think this is one of the greatest stories in the Bible. But just know that it's never too late. That just one more day or even 5 more minutes could make a difference to that person or to anyone, really. Anybody who's struggling, whether it is suicidal depression or tendencies, or if it's alcoholism or anything like that, just give it one more day. You're almost there. That miracle could happen tomorrow or 5 minutes from now. Just know that it's coming is basically what I'm trying to get to. And let's see, what was the other scriptures? Acts 16 through 26. Acts 16 through 26. And it came to pass, as we went to prayer, a certain damsel possessed with the spirit of divination met us, which brought her master such gain by soothsaying. The same followed, which is kind of like mediumship, in a way. Let's slide this over a little bit. Come on, slide over it. There we go. Okay. The same followed Paul and us, and cried, saying, These men are the servants of the Most High God, which shew unto us the way of salvation. And this did she many days. But Paul, being grieved, turned and said to the spirit, I command thee in the name of Jesus Christ to come out of her. And he came out the same hour. For which cause he and Silas are whipped and imprisoned. And when her masters saw that the hope of their gains were gone, they caught Paul and Silas and drew them into the marketplace unto the rulers, and brought them to the magistrates, saying, These men, being Jews, do exceedingly trouble our city, and teach customs which are not lawful for us to receive, neither to observe, being Romans. And the multitude rose up together against them, and the magistrates rent off their clothes, and commanded to beat them. When they had laid many stripes upon them, they cast them into prison, charging the jailer to keep them safely, who, having received such a charge, thrust them into the inner prison, and made their feet fast in the stocks. And the inner prison, when you think about it, the time period, the inner prison was the most dark, stinkiest. You're basically stepping in all the human waste and the runoff from the upper levels. So they were in the most gross things imaginable. So keep that in mind as we read this. The prison doors are open. And at midnight Paul and Silas prayed, and sang praises unto God, and the prisoners heard them. And suddenly there was a great earthquake, so that the foundations of the prison were shaken, and immediately all the doors were opened and everyone's hands were loosed. See, again, when they were in their darkest moments, God showed up and made a way where there seemed like there was no way. I mean, if you think about their mindset, they didn't know what was going to happen. For all they knew, that they were going to spend the rest of their lives there, however long that may be. But all they did was cry out to Jesus, and God heard their prayer and, made a way for them to escape. And, like I said, this is just another, story in the Bible that shows you that it's never too late. Hold on just a little bit longer. You got this. Don't give up. He's on his way. And the third is Luke 17:11-14. Now, let's see. (11-14). This is what God had given me. God had given me at the cabin that I showed y'all in the video. Whenever we was doing a Bible study, or whenever I wanted to do the Bible study. But God had me awake earlier that morning, and He showed me this. And it came to pass, as He went to Jerusalem, this is talking about Jesus, that He passed through the midst of Samaria and Galilee. And as He entered into a certain village, there met Him 10 men that were lepers, which stood afar off. And they lifted up their voices and said, Jesus, Master, have mercy on us. And when he saw them, He said unto them, Go shew yourselves unto the priest. Now, this was playing over and over in my head that morning. Why did Jesus send the 10 lepers to the priest when He could have easily healed them Himself? And the way He showed me this was, instead of priests, He just made it singular, priest. And what He said was basically this. It doesn't tell you what kind of day the priest was having, or the priests actually were having. He could have been, the way it was given to me, the priest, he could have been having the worst day possible, going, I'm a failure, I'm no good at this, I'm going to have to close down the church, my congregation left, all this, the devil just waging war on his mind. And that's what the devil tends to do around the holidays, is wage wars on people's minds and get them to commit suicide and harm themselves. But it says that, and it came to pass, let me rotate it back. Oops. And it came to pass that as they went, they were cleansed. Okay. And as they went, they were cleansed. That means that potentially before they got there, that they were healed. But if you look at it this way, if the 10 lepers went to see the priest, he could have been like, oh man, God, I just need a sign. I'm really feeling like I've done something wrong, like you hate me. Are you mad at me for doing something? Just the devil waging war on his mind. And then all of a sudden, these 10 guys that were sick, who needed healing, showed up just at the right time for him to be able to perform the healing. So again, God shows up just in the nick of time for the priest who could have possibly done something, to harm himself. He showed up to show him that he's still in his favor, that there's still more that he needs to do. Yeah, Linus, great. But anyway, he showed up again just in the nick of time. And I know I'm butchering my thoughts right now, but you get the point that I'm trying to get across. Again, he showed up just in the nick of time. And I just want to let you know to just keep holding on, that it's going to be okay, to not give up. And that, in a very vague nutshell, is the point that I'm trying to get across. There was 3 accounts of God showing up just in time, and he will show up just in time for you. So just keep pushing forward, and he'll show up, and it'll get better. And with that, guys, I will talk at y'all later. Love y'all. God bless.